Well, hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Super excited for this video. We are going to be talking about how you can use high quality images on your website to create an incredible experience and ultimately engage with your visitors even better than you're currently doing right now. If you haven't yet, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date on all of the amazing content that we're going to be putting out here on this channel. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the content. All right, so we've all heard the phrase, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and that could not be more true on your church's website. I'm gonna cut right to the chase. I've seen so many church websites that don't utilize good images, and it absolutely kills their site's effectiveness. Visuals are everything. I use this analogy all the time, but when my wife and I go to a restaurant and we have a menu and there's no pictures in the menu, it drives her nuts because she's like, I want to see what I'm going to be eating. I want a visual representation of what I'm looking at here. People automatically want to see things, especially nowadays that we have so much different social media and visually things are being thrown at us all the time. It's like thinking about like a Burger King commercial on TV versus in a radio ad. The radio ad's not even nearly as effective. If I was hungry and I saw a picture of a cheeseburger on the TV, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I gotta get a cheeseburger right now. But if you described it to me on the radio, it's like, I'm sure it sounds nice, but I don't really have much of a desire. My mouth's not watering to experience it. And we have to have that mindset when we talk about our church's website. So I wanna hit a couple of quick points on images, starting with the power of your photos, which we kind of already gotten into. But the fact is, a photo on your website is like a window into your church building. It's like someone can go up to your website and just look through a window and see what you're doing in there, get a visual idea of, oh, this is what this is gonna look like. This is gonna help me kind of understand the experience a little bit more. It's the same thing as if you were to go buy a house and you looked on Zillow on the app and there were no photos of the house. You're not gonna wanna go to that house and figure out what it's like when you get there. You want to have an understanding right away, and your photos on your website are your church's windows. Give as many windows as possible. Show people what the experience will be like. Almost imagine that you have a camera and you're walking through your church, giving people a live view of what they're going to get when they attend. That's the power of your images. It's going to allow people to like you and immediately start to connect with you visually, which is extraordinarily powerful. Next up, I want to hit this too. Don't use stock photos. To the best of your ability, you're cheating yourself when you use stock imagery. Sometimes we think, well, that's a really good looking photo. It looks so nice. But the problem is those people don't go to your church. That's not what your church building looks like. That's just not a representation of who you are. We want to build trust with people on our website, which is step number 3 of the Discover, Like, Trust, and Engage Alpha church website framework that we teach here at Ministry Designs. You gotta be honest, be yourself. And that's why I say to people, use what you have and be yourself. Be as transparent as possible, be authentic to you. And oftentimes people get caught up in like, oh, I don't have the equipment, but it's really more so about the quality of the content and what you're capturing over the professionalism of your photos. And if you can capture people smiling in your church, smiling faces are huge. Families dropping their kids off, people being greeted at the door, a visual understanding of what the church is going to look like when they walk in. You can frame things in a way that's going to portray your culture and your community, and that's what's most important. Not the professional, great photography all the time. Because I've seen churches that have professional photographers that do their photos and they don't work on their website at all. It's just a bunch of close-ups of them on stage worshiping or the pastor. I have no idea what the church looks like. I have no idea what the size of the church is. I have no idea what the style of the church is or anything like that because they're not portraying that. A good website will have effective images, and that is going to be a huge tool for you. So lastly, talking about size and optimization. So when we get into taking photos, we always run into some issues with size and load speeds. SEO, search engine optimization, is the process of optimizing your website to perform well on Google searches or search engines in general, but predominantly Google, because Google really reigns supreme. Sorry to all my Bing users out there. Google really is the king of search, and that's just the way that it is. So we have to make sure that we're abiding by Google's standards. Google will put a higher value on your website the faster it loads. Google wants to see your website load in less than 2 seconds. And what's going to slow down a website is going to be large file sizes. Think about it this way. The more content on your website, the heavier your website is and the harder it is to pick it up. So we got to make sure our files are as small as possible to keep our website light and fast on its feet so we have fast load speeds. One of the best ways to do that is going to be to compress and resize your images. So when you take a picture, even on like a good phone, if you take a high quality picture on like an iPhone, you're looking at a couple megabytes in terms of the file size of that image. You want to get that down to a fraction of the size. Also, one thing that you'll see too is a picture that you'll take will usually be 2,000-3,000 pixels wide. It's a really big photo. My monitor here is about that big, and it is 1920 pixels, so it's 1920 pixels wide. That's a big image, and my website is like going to be, the picture's this small on the screen, right? So I don't need it to be that big. So resize your photos. A general tip that I give to everyone that we work with on websites here at Ministry Designs is for background images, 1,800 pixels is as big as you want to go. 1,500 to 1,800 pixels. 1,800 is a good number because you're going to be able to view it on a large screen without losing too much quality. It's going to look still really good. And that's just for backgrounds. For the rest of the photos on your site, I recommend 600 to 700 pixels in width because most of the time, you're not going to have an image that's bigger than that size. What that's going to do is shrink it down so it's not loading a huge image like size-wise, but it'll also really, really compress the file size of your image. And then after you resize them, you can always go and run them through a compressor. I use one called TinyPNG. It's got a little panda bear on the website there, and he helps you compress your images, but there's tons of free ones you can use. Compress your images, download them. That just kind of squeezes the file size a little bit more and makes it as small as possible. And then you can upload them into your website. So make sure that you're using good images, but also, get them compressed down. So let's give a quick rundown one more time. Images are huge. Pictures are huge for your website, and they will make or break your website. Make sure they're high quality, good photos, taken with intention, not just random. Get people smiling, get people's faces, get people being greeted. Imagine a first-time visitor's experience and photograph that. Pretend you're the person that's walking through the door. Photograph your experience. That's all you need. Get a volunteer, get someone from your youth group, someone that's capable maybe in your church staff, or someone from the church that wants to volunteer who has a decent eye for photos, and have them take a couple of pictures, give them a list of content that they'll want to use. But get that taken care of. Don't use stock photos, get quality content, and make sure that you are optimizing your images for your website, and you're gonna be off to a great start. So I hope that helps. We'll see you in the next video. Again, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Hit the notification bell. We have a ton of these videos. Keep getting your tips. Keep adding value, and we hope to be able to add value to you in further videos to come. So we'll see you in the next one.